Breaking news has just rocked the entire WWE universe to its core. The Bloodline has officially hit Defcon 1. In what is now being called the most jaw-dropping betrayal of the year, Tama Tonga, once Solo Sikoa's most trusted and loyal ally, has turned his back on everything and aligned himself with Jimmy Uso and Jacob Fatu in a Smackdown moment so explosive it's already being etched into WWE history. This wasn't just a twist, it was a declaration of war that detonated right in the heart of the Samoan dynasty. Friday Night Smackdown will never be the same again. The moment unfolded with shocking precision and pure chaos. Just when the WWE Universe had accepted that Jimmy Uso and Jacob Fatu were hopelessly outnumbered by Solo Sikoa's terrifying faction, featuring the powerhouse Tongaloa, the brutal Jeff Cobb, and the unrelenting Tama Tonga, something completely unexpected happened. As Solo commanded Tama Tonga to take out Jimmy Uso and end the resistance once and for all, Tama stood poised, ready to strike. But then, in a flash, everything changed. Instead of attacking Jimmy, Tama Tonga turned and launched a brutal dropkick straight through Solo Sikoa, crashing him through the barricade and igniting a roar of disbelief and euphoria from the live crowd. The arena shook as Tama Tonga ripped off his Bloodline armband and extended his hand to Jimmy Uso. It was more than a handshake, it was a declaration that family isn't just blood, it's loyalty, and Solo's version of the Bloodline no longer represented that. As Jacob Fatu joined them in the ring, the three executed a jaw-dropping triple-team assault on Tongaloa, sending a message that the war has a new front and a new alliance. The final image of Smackdown was chaos incarnate, Jimmy, Jacob, and Thomas standing united in defiance while Solo's empire burned around him. The ramifications of this betrayal are seismic. First, Tama Tonga's defection wasn't just a betrayal, it was the ultimate backstab by a soldier who many believed would go down with Solo's ship. Instead, he's become the face of rebellion. Second, the dynamics of the Bloodline have changed forever. Jimmy Uso is now flanked by warriors who share a common goal that runs deeper than blood, freedom from Solo's tyranny. Third, Paul Heyman may be the silent architect pulling strings from behind the curtain. His rumored pact with Seth Rollins and his camp has introduced another layer of complexity, one that could explode into a full-blown war at SummerSlam, with rumors swirling of potential war games or elimination-style matches tearing the WWE landscape apart. Backstage sources now confirm that Tama Tonga personally pitched this turn to management, insisting that the time had come to inject real emotional depth into the Samoan dynasty saga. And judging by the reaction, social media lit up instantly with hashtags like #TamaBetrayal and #BloodlineCivilWar. It worked. The entire world is watching now. With this defection, Jimmy Uso and Jacob Fatu aren't underdogs anymore. They're a legitimate threat, armed with explosive chemistry and a hunger to burn the Bloodline down and rebuild it in their own image. The war has officially begun, and WWE will never look the same again. Who will rise from this family implosion? Are you with Solo's crew, or do you stand with the new Samoan renegades? Drop a skull for Solo or a flame for the rebellion in the comments, and don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications, because when the next chapter of this Samoan war erupts, you'll want to be right here to witness it first. Massive emergency breaking news is erupting across the WWE universe as the Bloodline has officially reached Defcon 1 in what is already being called the most volatile, emotional, and unpredictable turning point in the history of the Samoan dynasty. In a moment that has left fans in shock, pundits speechless, and social media on fire, Tama Tonga, long considered the most loyal enforcer in Solo Sikoa's restructured and ruthless version of the Bloodline, has betrayed everything he once stood for. In a shocking twist that unfolded live during Friday Night Smackdown, Tama Tonga didn't just walk away from Solo's side, he detonated the foundation of the faction from the inside out by aligning himself with none other than Jimmy Uso and Jacob Fatu. This is more than just a betrayal, it's the spark that ignited a civil war within the Samoan legacy and threw WWE into absolute chaos. The night began like many before it, with Solo Sikoa continuing his campaign of dominance, his faction, comprising the powerhouse Tongaloa, the intense Jeff Cobb, and the ruthless Tama Tonga, imposing their will on anyone who dared oppose them. With Roman Reigns absent and Paul Heyman seemingly shifting alliances, Solo had positioned himself as the new tribal authority, ruling SmackDown with brutal efficiency. Jimmy Uso and Jacob Fatu, once proud members of the original Bloodline, now found themselves as outlaws and underdogs, surrounded by enemies and isolated from the family they helped build. All signs pointed to their inevitable destruction. And then came the moment that changed everything. Solo Sikoa, in full command of the chaos, ordered Tama Tonga to finish Jimmy Uso in front of the WWE Universe as a final statement of dominance. Tama Tonga, clad in Bloodline colors, stood ready to obey. The crowd held its breath. Jimmy braced for the blow. But what happened next turned the arena, and the future of WWE on its head. With the world watching, Tama Tonga spun around and delivered a crushing dropkick to Solo Sikoa, sending the self-proclaimed head of the table crashing through the barricade in a devastating moment of betrayal. Gasps turned to screams as fans leapt to their feet, unable to believe what they were witnessing. The betrayal wasn't subtle. It was violent. It was personal. It was war. Tama Tonga didn't stop there. As the stunned members of Solo's camp looked on, Tama tore off his bloodline armband, spitting on the ground as a symbolic rejection of Solo's rule. He then turned to Jimmy Uso and extended his hand. The handshake was more than a gesture, it was a rebirth. A new alliance was formed in the middle of the ring, right on the ashes of the old dynasty. Jacob Fatu charged in, eyes burning, ready to avenge, but instead, he embraced the chaos. Tama pointed towards Solo's faction and declared loud enough for every camera to catch it, "They're not our family. This is our family." The crowd erupted as the three warriors united and unleashed a devastating triple-team assault on Tongaloa, signaling that the battle lines had officially been redrawn. Smackdown went off the air in complete pandemonium as Jimmy, Jacob, and Tama stood tall, fists raised, brothers in arms in a war that had just begun. This betrayal by Tama Tonga didn't just fracture the bloodline, it split the WWE landscape in two. The implications are massive. For starters, Tama Tonga's defection marks the end of Solo Sikoa's control over the narrative. His right-hand man is gone. His enemies have multiplied. And the loyalty he demanded has now been weaponized against him. Secondly, the newly formed trio of Jimmy Uso, Jacob Fatu, and Tama Tonga is not just another group. This is a volatile alliance born from betrayal, pain, and a shared legacy that predates Solo's reign of terror. They are unpredictable, explosive, and hungry for retribution. And lurking behind the curtain is Paul Heyman, the mastermind whose silence speaks volumes. Recent reports suggest Heyman has entered into a strategic relationship with Seth Rollins and his emerging faction, adding,